Welcome. My name is Gay, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about tracing your family history. And I specifically want to talk to those of us who are African American, though many of the tips that I share are not limited just to us, but can probably be applied by many of us. However, my focus tends to be on African American roots because many of us, I find, decide, maybe it's too troublesome to try to do any learning about. And it really isn't. So today I just want to give you the first step in tracing your roots if you've had a desire to do this. And so the very first thing you want to do is to go to the very oldest member of your family and go armed with a tape recorder, and you want to interview them. And I would tell you, don't just come with a barrage of questions, but you may have a focus that you may want to address at the time you're talking with them. However, when you do it, it is really, really very important to let them talk to you. And generally, many of the older people will talk to you in story form. And as they talk to you in story form, you are going to gather a lot of information. You'll gather such things as their parents' names. You may find out that a parent may have married more than once. You may find out that children may have been adopted out of the family. You'll get names of siblings. You may also get names of next door neighbors. You may find out the name of the school that your ancestor attended. You may find out how they went to church if they did. They'll tell you the name of the church. They'll tell you the names of the churches in the area. They'll talk to you probably about how the neighborhood functioned. So you'll learn a little bit about their neighbors. You'll learn a little bit about just the area in general, the economics at the time, the sicknesses that may have occurred at the time. So do not just go armed with a question. Go armed with patience to listen to a story. And then you will have a lot more information than you ever thought you would have in order to move on to the next step. So I also want to address the fact that a lot of people are afraid to talk to people with Alzheimer's. I get that all the time where people say, well, Gay, these people have Alzheimer's. My aunt, I really should have talked to her years ago. And I always tell them, no, don't ever be afraid to talk to a member with Alzheimer's, because they may not remember what they had for breakfast, but they will remember what happened to them 40, 50, 60 years ago. So don't fear talking to them. Another good reason to be armed with that tape recorder. Let me give you a real good example. There was a lady I spoke with, and I want to tell you, when I spoke with her last, she was probably about 98 years old. And there was a story that she told me, and in the story, she began to share with me over and over and over how there was a man who, by the name of Andrew, and there was a white man who took or tried to take his horse. And he said he always wore a hat, and that man tried to take his horse, and he shot him dead. And she told me that story over and over. So sometimes they get a little muddled, but there's some memories that they really, really keep. They may not know the order it was in, but they know it happened. So I would say to you, little funny stories like that may be found in a newspaper. So don't limit yourself or be afraid to talk to a member of your family who has Alzheimer's. And that's the tip for today. Hope it helps. Hope you enjoy.